Welcome back to the Do Better podcast. I am your host, Theo Coop, and today we are back with part 2 of Kevin Samuels versus Crazy Communications Chick. So, recap from last video, she called, she was wild and all that kind of good stuff. So this is actually the next night. She called back, and it didn't take long to remember who she was. So let's get it started. Okay, and the title for part 2 is Can't Make This Stuff Up. And that's funny because that would eventually turn out to be one of his catchphrases. Let's get it started.
First of all, okay, hold on. Turn YouTube off in the background.
I turned it off for you.
Do you have a disagreement?
I do.
You guys, when you say you called from last night, I don't necessarily remember who you are. So what's the disagreement?
Okay. So I watched a few of your videos. A coworker told me about you,
Okay.
and I'm kind of agreeing with Monique on some things. When you talk about the weight and the body type of women. So I did a little research, looking at BMIs and things like that. And I noticed you weren't factoring body fat percentage and things like that.
Man, let's be honest, man.
Mhm.
This is a broadcast. I don't have to get that specific. Generalities are just fine.
Mm-hmm. Well, for me, I asked because you told me that I was overweight, which according to the BMI.
Who are you? How tall are you? First of all, how tall are you?
Body fat percentage.
How tall? Okay, Jesus, you ladies act like you can't hear. How tall are you?
I'm sorry, I was just in the middle of a sentence.
Well, guess what, man? This is the show. Okay, I know who you are. You're a communications chick.
It is.
And one thing you have to remember is that Kev talks to on a nightly basis. He has to talk to at least a few dozen women at minimum, and probably closer to the triple digits, depending on how well the show is moving. And for him to instantly remember her is like, oh yeah, you the communications chick, you the crazy chick from the night before, and she just replies, it is.
Look, lady, you got problems because we're not gonna do what happened yesterday. So either you're gonna get on board with the way this is, or I'm gonna bid you a good night. Because apparently you think you are somebody that I need to contend with, and I don't. You either have a civil conversation or go elsewhere. Those are your only options.
I'm very civil, but I'm open to either.
This chick is just crazy, man.
And communicate. That was my first degree. I got a degree in master's in professional development. But
He's just gonna let her cook right now.
yeah.
He's letting her hang herself.
I
Watch
kind of
this.
looked and I realized that you were fatter than me because my body fat percentage is pretty low.
She's just talking, yo.
And I work out 6 times a week, things like that. And the guys I prefer are pretty fit as well, so a good 220, but I wouldn't consider them overweight.
You done?
I am.
Good, because you didn't answer the first question I asked. You just talked.
That's all she was doing, just talking.
Show me where where the world operates according to your standard.
So that's what I wanted to ask you about, but it's like you're asking me questions that has nothing to do with my question, because I just wanted to understand your viewpoint.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Again,
Mhm.
She's not here to understand his viewpoint, and she doesn't respect it. She's here to be combative. Like,
stop the cap. Why you always lying?
you're here for a reason, ma'am. It is not to come to an understanding on his thought process. You're here to be combative because he hit you with the trumpet, and in his own way, he called you a
Huge bitch.
and you felt a certain way about that, and you're trying to call back and get your win, taking the L yesterday. Let's keep it moving.
let you talk. And I asked you one question and you just blew right on past it. Communications degree holder. Why is it so hard for you to answer a question? I'll know why. Because you have no respect for what's going on.
Nope.
You're just here to talk.
Because you're not answering my question. My height has nothing to do with my question that I'm asking.
I didn't ask. See, the thing is, again, how tall are you?
5'5",
And how much did you weigh the last time you weighed yourself?
165.
Last night you were 175.
Yep, she was too.
Yep, and I weighed myself this morning because I've been on a diet. And like I said, I work out 6 days a week. I also fast twice a week. So I'm very health conscious.
Congratulations, ma'am.
Yeah.
Congratulations. And still,
Mhm.
it doesn't matter how many days a week you work out or what's specific to you. See, a weight.
Let's be honest, and let's say we believe everything she said about her physical fitness. Her problem isn't her weight or issue. Her problem is in her head. This lady is fucking nuts. Let's keep it moving.
Weight standard is just that, a standard. You cannot have something that fits 7 billion people.
Mhm.
You're a college graduate. You're supposed to understand these things.
I don't think you're understanding my question. So can I ask you another question to clarify?
You haven't asked me any questions, really.
Exactly.
You just told me why I'm wrong, and I could care. And why? Because
She hasn't. She never asked him one question. She's just been talking. That's it, and talking. And I noticed that a lot when you watch a lot of videos in the manosphere, and you see a lot of these videos where these women just talk. A lot of times I think like a lot of modern women, they just be talking, man, with no real direction on where their conversations is necessarily going. They're just kind of hoping it in somewhere where they can vault out of the conversation without looking like an idiot. But a lot of times women will just talk, man, and it won't make a lick of sense. But to them, keep moving.
because the guys you like are taller and this and that, that's your preference. That's fine. But it still doesn't change the fact that you, at your height, you weigh more than the average man.
Mm-hmm. And so for me, I'm just like, I'm curious. I'm asking my question.
At your height, you weigh more than a man at your height.
Understand? Okay, that's fine. My question is, why do women go to Dr. Miami and to get BBLs to look like me? I don't have an ounce of cellulite or stretch marks. That's why I don't really want.
Again, ma'am. Again,
that is such a disingenuous question, man. Why do women go to Dr. Miami to get BBLs to look like me? First of all, chick, if you ain't some supermodel, some woman who just her beauty gives you a level of notoriety, we need to know who you are. Because you could be basic as hell and work out, and a lot of women are just gassed, man, and they're gassed by social media and dating apps or whatever. Every woman thinking she a dime. So I don't buy, like, you just find that women are going to look like you. Like, who are you? And she very well could be a good-looking woman, but she's also the same woman who says she hasn't had a relationship in 8 years. And she's, what, 30? And that's odd at best.
And you're asking me why. Stop. You want to answer to the question?
Mm-hmm.
How can I know why they do? How can I know why somebody that goes to Dr. Miami does what they do?
But we're talking about you.
No, you asked me a question. Why do women go to Dr. Miami to get bodies to look like you? I can't know why they do that, but I will tell you that a 25-inch waist, and I actually had people from the medical profession call in talking about women who do. Do you happen to use a waist trainer?
I actually just started using one last week because I want to go to 24.
Right. And so you have a 25-inch waist naturally.
That's something I hadn't actually considered. That can't really be good for you, that waist trainer things. And I know that's been going on, from women back in the day walking around in the corsets. But that can't just be something that's good for you long term.
Yes.
Okay. At 170 pounds, at 175 pounds. All right. So again, you're the same person that talked about the kind of men you like to date, the kind of men you like to date, all this thing about how hot you are. But then in another breath, you said you ain't had a relationship in 8 years. Which one is true?
Both.
Okay. Okay. Well, then if you're in such high,
it's not by choice, lady. Y'all can keep saying it's by choice. It's not by choice. Just because you keep saying it doesn't mean anyone else is going to believe it. But I guess that's how it works. You keep telling yourself a lie to the point you keep telling yourself, you repeat the lie to yourself so many times you start to believe it, I suppose.
Such high demand. Mm-hmm. Why does it matter what a guy on YouTube has to say?
Bang! Bang! It's good!
What else can she say, man? Because she took the time to call back. And it wasn't like she said, hey, I'm calling back from last night because we discussed A, B, or C. No, he had to bring it out of her. When she started talking, he's like, oh, you the crazy bitch from last night, huh? You crazy ass calling back. If you so hot, if you're such a dime piece, if you're so attractive, you would be on the phone with your man right now. You wouldn't be spending your time caring about what a guy on YouTube says if you that bad.
Like I said, my coworker told me about you, and we literally, like, I enjoy your show. I don't agree with most of the
Keep that in mind about a coworker.
things you said, especially about women and valuing them with my Christian beliefs. I think we're all in some ways equal. However, me and my coworker.
Whoa! Now you've crossed. Okay, first of all,
Mhm.
you've crossed into some dangerous territory. I'm gonna allow you to back that one up because
Okay.
you want to bring Christianity into it. I was
I
baptized at 5,
teach
and you can
theology.
no. See, God doesn't play these subjective games you want to play.
God also teaches humility.
As far as Christianity, you are way outside
Yep.
the mark of how
Here
a
you
Christian
go.
woman should be moving.
He's about to hit on it right now.
We can talk about that because
There's no discuss. There's nothing to talk. There is nothing to talk about in this regard.
So you asked me about two different things. One was the 8-year thing.
But bringing up the religious thing, and that's why I said before on this channel, and I'm going to keep saying it on this channel. That's why I personally, and a lot of people, don't take religious people serious. This is just another example. She's talking about being in her Christian's belief, and she's not moving with any type of, she's not moving with any type of humility. You can't tell me humility isn't a key staple in Christianity.
Which we didn't go into details about why that was what I decided. But to clarify, I have not, you talked earlier about people not wanting to commit. That's me. And that's by choice. I have not wanted to commit because I enjoy my space. I don't enjoy someone telling me what to do and when. So that's by choice.
Good. And congratulations. Okay, ma'am. Okay. This is a conversation, not a monologue. You enjoy your space. Good. And you also think that you can just decide to turn the switch and get married.
Yep.
That resonated with me. That's the one thing
that resonated. It resonated with you?
No, what you're saying. I agree.
I want to make sure what I just heard what you say. It resonated with you?
Mm-hmm. What you said resonated with me.
Okay, you said resignated.
Resonated. I think you understand what I was saying.
Mm-hmm. I do, but you're the communications person.
Okay, I'm not working right now, so.
Bam. And I don't think Kev caught that. She said twice that her coworker recommended his channel to her. And I believe she said that on the first video as well. But I know I caught it twice. She said it in this video that her coworker recommended his channel to her. But she said she ain't working right now, which still isn't an excuse for you not to be able to communicate properly. Communications degree expert. Like, come on now.
Well, it still shouldn't matter. You should still understand the words you're using.
Exactly.
Okay, I understand what I said.
Ultimately, ma'am, you want to go back and forth to argue. Did you have something else you want to say? Because you can watch the show, you can enjoy it, but at the end of the day, you are unfit for a real relationship. You may have a great body, and lots of guys may want to have sex with you, but I don't think many guys could stand to be in a room with you longer than after the sex is over. You're a difficult woman to talk to.
Yep.
You're all over the place, and you have to be right. Congratulations. You may look great. But what happens when that 25-inch waist and that ass drops at 50 or 60?
Not going to.
Great. Good luck with that.
I'll be good. Doctor.
Bye-bye.
That's the end of the video. But Kev made a great point right before he hung up on her. And he asked, so what are you going to do? You don't want to be with anybody and you're single by choice. All that single by choice nonsense. But he asked her a great question at the end. What do you plan to do when you're 50 and 60 and that ass drop? And she says, it won't. See, and that's just complete arrogance because it's a few things that's undefeated. The IRS, Father Time, and the wall. The wall is undefeated. And I was just having a conversation with somebody about this, and we were talking about a celebrity who was a good-looking woman in her 50s. Yes, there's good-looking women in their 50s. And that's women who were like fine in their 20s and 30s. Yes, there's some good-looking women in their 50s. Like, damn, that's a bad woman to be in her 50s. That's a good-looking woman. I tell you what's even rarer than that, seeing a bad 60-year-old. Those are rare in between. Those are those are just those are extremely rare. And I tell you what, what doesn't exist is a bad 70-year-old. There are no bad 70-year-olds. She's gonna hit the wall just like all of them, man. And then what is it? The male attention that wouldn't even marry you when you were younger, when you were at your prime, they wouldn't even marry you then. They would only sleep with you. When you hit that wall and then you're 50, 60 and you're decades past the wall, it's a wrap for you, B. But you guys let me know. Maybe I'm being too cynical. Maybe I'm going too hard. You guys agree with me or you don't? I'll see you guys later. After party in the comments. Yo, Coop, man. Do better.